Happy Tuesday. I'm so excited to be here for Growth Group with Dr. Ericka and finally actually make it. I feel like this has been like when you have a date that you've been really looking forward to and something seems to happen every single week. Because I know the first time was the fire alarms in my hotel. The second was I was stuck in the hospital doing my best to save lives. But this week I was like, we have to make this happen because I look forward to seeing you all every single Tuesday. So for me, having 2 weeks without y'all was rough. I felt like I was Donkey on Shrek and I should be singing all by myself. But I won't give you more of my vocal styling. So as you come in, we'll talk about what we're going to talk about. But today we are tackling 3 ways to deal with stress from the news. You might be like, Dr. Ericka, why are we talking about this? News isn't going anywhere. And as you all know, the news isn't always good. And the news has been all over the place more recently. So do me a favor as you come in, just leave where you're watching from in the chat, especially because part of our news is all of this insane weather. I actually was recently near this nor'easter, but luckily not in the area of the bomb cyclone. So we got snow, but it wasn't apocalyptic snow. But let me know where you are watching from. If you can do me a favor, if you know someone that needs to see this, just tag them. There's a little thingy on the bottom and just tag. The other thing is if you know someone that needs to see this, you can share. Sharing is caring. The last thing is if you're watching it and it's not while it's live, it's all good. Just put hashtag replay in the comments. Can you do that for me? I would love to know that. Thank you so much. In case you don't know me, you should, but in case you don't and you're new, let me tell you who I am. I'm your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained double board certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. I am on a mission to help you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my adult telepsychiatry. I do that through my speaking, my books, including Fix Your Fairy Tale, A Woman's Guide to a Great Life, Love, and Legacy, along with my podcast, Better with Dr. Ericka, which we'll be talking a little bit about later. I do all this to help busy people like you that give and give and give, and you show up for work, you show up for your friends, you show up for your family, you show up for everybody but yourself. I do this to put you back in your life. So thank you again for coming. Let's go ahead and we're going to start this topic off. So one of the reasons we're talking about it is there's been so much in the news lately, just so much. From when we were originally going to talk about this topic, there had been some hostage situations, but between that, we are dealing with, we had multiple high, I don't want to say high level because I don't really feel like there's a different quality of human being, but high profile people that recently died by suicide, including Mayor Kevin Ward, Chesley Christ, Ian Alexander Jr., but we've had this rash of suicides over the last week. In addition to that, there has, between all this weather, everything COVID, everything Omarion. My mother called me today because my mother's actually one of my number one news sources, saying my hometown, St. Louis, was ranked, I think, number 2 as the most crime-ridden city in the country. So there's all this news. And one of the things that's so easy to happen is to get wrapped up in it, for it to get just exhausting and tiring. And I don't want any of that for you. That's not what I want. So I wanted to come in and just have a moment so we can talk about some ways to make this feel a little bit better for you. And I appreciate you all asking. I am well. I'm a little cold, but I have really warm, fuzzy slippers, and they are giving me life along with all of the hot tea I'm drinking. So I'm getting all my antioxidants in with all of the green tea I am drinking. So let's go ahead and get this started, because I think one of the big things I want to get to is the fact that there are myths out there that we can't control the news. You can't necessarily control what is news, but you can control your exposure and what you do with it. So I don't want you to feel powerless because there's so much going on. And a lot of these things, they're not going to change immediately. We know COVID's not going away yet. We are not on the other side of the pandemic. Sorry, I said it. crime isn't going, financial stress isn't going, especially due to the pandemic. There's still going to be a lot of news about stocks changing, companies changing, all kinds of things, and policies changing. There's still politics, all of the things. So let's talk about what are some things you can actually do, because as I said before, you might not be able to control what people call news and put on news, but you can control how you curate it, how you get exposed to it, and what you do with the information. First thing we're going to talk about is boundaries. Do you notice boundaries come up with almost everything we talk about? Because boundaries are secret sauce. So we're talking about boundaries, which is turn it off. Sometimes you just got to turn it off. Sometimes it is too much. It's okay if it's too much. The great thing is when you can realize it's too much and you just need to turn it off. Be it you're turning off a channel on your TV, be it you're turning your TV off in general, be it you stop scrolling through the websites, CNN and everything, or you quit looking at what you're seeing on social media, because sometimes I know with this news cycle, some of the news you're going to get is through social media or other outlets, or you may be getting notifications on your phone from your news apps and you may just need to turn them off. So sometimes you just need to turn it off. The next is curate your news sources. So sometimes you end up feeling bombarded if you're getting alerts about things in the news that are tragic or stressful coming in on your phone, and it's popping and it's going ding, 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 and just popping up on your phone. You also can be then seeing the stuff on TV, seeing it in your news feed, seeing it on your websites, getting stuff in your inbox. And sometimes you need to just curate down to less sources when there's a lot of stuff going on, that this may not be the time you want notifications, or you may want to pick one trusty news source and just roll with that one instead of taking in everything. But you want to curate down to an amount that's going to feel comfortable and not overwhelming for you, because you have the power to not be overwhelmed. That's why we're talking about this. The next is sometimes you need quiet time to reset. This could be meditating, it can be breathing, it can be prayer. Sometimes it's just sitting somewhere quiet. But sometimes you just have to literally turn the volume down and turn the noise down by getting still and quiet to help reset, because sometimes all of this news can be activating. And depending on what's going on, it can be triggering, because I know a lot of people felt really triggered with the recent suicides. And at one point, everything was around January 6th. It's just a lot of things that can be really triggering. So I want to encourage you, sometimes you just got to get quiet. So we're talking about sometimes you turn it off. Sometimes you're curating, so you're not getting as much input. And sometimes you're going to reset by getting quiet. Now, I have a bonus, because who doesn't like a bonus? The bonus is sometimes you just need to get some sleep. So if you notice, 2 of these are cutting down the input. Actually 3, because getting quiet, also for you to have quiet time to breathe or meditate or just be quiet, you have to turn this stuff off. So 3 are you're decreasing the input. 2 are recharging and resetting. So sleep is a recharge and reset. Then quiet time is a reset. So you can look at them in those 2 different ways. Those are 2 ways to kind of split them up. Now, if you have any questions as we go through, please drop them in the chat. As I asked before, please drop in the chat where you are watching from. We're going to do a quick recap, and then I'm going to get you out of here. So again, we are talking about 3 ways to deal with stress from the news, because there is so much going on that it's easy to get overwhelmed by all of the input, because there's so much going on, from suicides to hostages to weather crises to financial things going on to the pandemic to all of the things. And I want you to be prepared to deal with no matter what's going on around you, that you can quiet it down. So we're going to do a quick recap, then I'm going to get you out. Number 1 is boundaries. Turn it off. Sometimes you got to turn it off. Turn off the channel, turn off the TV, stop scrolling on the Facebook or the Instagram or the Twitters or wherever you're scrolling. And sometimes it may be you turning off your notifications, but you just need to sometimes just turn it off. Decrease the input. All right now? All right. The next one is you're going to curate your news sources. When there's a lot going on, you don't need input from everywhere. So you're going to curate it so that there's 2 purposes of curating. One is you want to decrease the input, so you don't just need to be flooded. The second is then when you curate, you're going to choose more reliable news sources so that you're not getting out of sorts or feeling triggered by stuff that may not be factual. The third is one of the ways we talked about, which is going to decrease stimulation, but also help you reset, which is quiet time, be it prayer, meditation, breathing, something that will help you just rest and reset. The last one is the other way that you're going to rest and recharge and also potentially reset is to get some sleep. Sometimes when you're overwhelmed or it's just too much information, you just need some rest. So that's what I got for you today. We talked about 3 ways to deal with stress from the news. I want to encourage you all to please take really good care of yourself. I know there's a lot going on right now. It feels like all of the things are going on. And I can't say enough how important it is to check in with yourself and be like, self, yes. How you doing, self? Doing good. Not doing so good. I want you to be able to check in with yourself and be able to have those honest conversations with yourself, and also to check in on people that you care about or people around you. There's actually a sign at work that says check on your colleagues. They may not be okay. And that's a sign at one of the places I work. And it's important to ask people how they're doing, but people feel if you're asking genuinely or if you're asking out of habit or courtesy. And if you have an intention behind it that you actually want to know, then that may be helpful. But check in with yourself, check in with others. That's what I got for you. Again, thank you so much for watching, coming in and spending some quality time with me on this Tuesday. I want to remind you that Growth Group comes on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hopefully, we don't have any more things coming up interrupting my quality time with you. So that will be better. Tuesdays also podcast release. So we may be not starting season 3 yet. We're in the break, air quotes break. But I did release a brand new bonus episode today that is 100% brand new. It talks about your mental health. So kind of why your mental health matters and permission to be, because sometimes you just need permission to exist, be yourself, be authentic, and not feel all of those pressures. So I'm really excited about this episode with so many things going on, highlighting mental health in the news. I think it's important to take a little moment away from it. And mental health doesn't have to be scary. Mental health isn't good or bad. We all have mental health, just like we all have physical health. My goal is to help you improve it so you have the highest level mental wellness, which allows you to have the highest quality life. Because at the end of the day, I told you I want to put you back in your life so you can be better, do better, and live better. Because I'm your host, Dr. Ericka, Harvard-trained, double board-certified psychiatrist and integrative lifestyle coach. As I said before, I'm here to help you be better, do better, and live better. I do that through my telepsychiatry, my speaking, my books, and my podcast. I do all of that to help people like you that just give to everyone else, finally pour back into yourself and put you back in your life. So I encourage you to check out the podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Audible, all the places, but you can also go to betterthepodcast.com to check it out. The other thing is I feel like I'm hitting all the buttons, but the buttons aren't liking me. I want to encourage you to join my VIP group with my podcast. It's called Better Nation. You'll get tons of bonuses along with these wonderful enhanced show notes that have additional information, timestamps, and everything. So you don't have to hunt and try to find stuff in episodes. It's a great companion, and you also get some free coaching resources. You can go to joinbetternation.com to sign up. It is free, and then you get all the inside scoop on the podcast. So I want to encourage you to do that. So podcast is still coming. Season 3 will be starting in February. Super excited. I just hope you all will stay safe, stay warm, keep your masks on. I want us to all make it through this pandemic and be able to talk about it later. So that's what I got for you. Sending out lots of love. Please give yourself a big hug and call someone that you know and tell them you love them. But they'll appreciate it. They'll probably say it back. Have a good evening and thanks for watching. Bye.